Welcome to the Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by Play Picks and the Lines. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by my guy Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. We got a small Thursday night slate here for you, just 3 games on the slate tonight. In this one, we are going to be looking at those New York Knicks taking on the New Orleans Pelicans, somewhat pesky Pelicans as of late especially. Nate's got his great article up on playpicks.com with some best bets and player props in there for you. Make sure to like and subscribe to that page. Check out the other couple videos we have up for you today, including that player props video coming off another 4-0 sparkling hot night. Not sparkling hot, steaming hot, whatever. Either way, make sure you do like and subscribe to that page. And as always, if you do still need a FanDuel or DraftKings account, head to fdpicks.com or dkpicks.com and find those listings in your area, such as what we've got for tonight. Nate, let's get into it.
Yeah, we are looking at 2 7:30 games here on the East Coast. We are in this episode, it's Pelicans at Knicks, with the Knicks favored by 4 at MSG and the total at 210. It's fluctuated a little bit, but settling right around that number. The other 2 games tonight, also at 7:30, Phoenix at Dallas. The Mavs are on a back-to-back here, whereas the Suns have been off since Monday. So Dallas is +3 in that spot, and that total is at 216. It's risen a little bit. And then the night ends with a Warriors hosting the Pacers, who are on a road back-to-back. Golden State is -11 at home, and that total around 218 right now. But we don't have props up or much info on that game as of yet. So we are focusing on these earlier games and the Pels and Knicks. 2 teams that definitely have a reputation for playing low-scoring slugfests, but somehow when they get together, they get into shootouts. In fact, they've gone over in 6 of their last 7, including a 123-117 Knicks win in New Orleans at the end of October, when, the Pelicans were just one of the worst offensive teams we had seen in recent memory at that point. They've improved to slightly above league average over their last 7-8 games here. Much of that has to do with the return of Brandon Ingram, who's averaging 22 and 7 assists over his last 6 games since returning to the lineup from an Achilles injury. Pelicans are 13th in offensive rating in that span. Knicks are 11th in those 7 games. So that has offset to a degree New York's dead last pace, which did also go up. They're playing at about 90 possessions per 100, but it went up to 98 when Minnesota came to town on Tuesday. So they have shown that they will mix it up a little bit with a team that likes to play faster. And the Pelicans are somewhat the same. They have shown some spike games. I mean, they have gone under in 5 of their last 6. But if you look at their last 15 games or so and ignore what the actual closing number was, they went over this 210 number in 10 or 11 of those games. It's a pretty low total that I think you can exploit. And so my preferred bet here would be to try to just tease it down and get the Pelicans at +8, because I don't think the Knicks are blowing out a team like this at home. Their margin of victory is very slim at home. In fact, I believe they're still below 500 at the Garden. A little bit hotter lately, but when you look at what these teams do versus each other, the Knicks are going to prefer to get their points from the perimeter right now, especially with Derrick Rose out, shooting a lot more threes. We've seen a lot more Evan Fournier, a lot more RJ Barrett. And the Pelicans are pretty dreadful. In fact, allow the 5th most triples per game this season. They're 23rd in defensive efficiency on the road. I do like the Knicks to win this game, but I think by single digits, which is why I like the teaser there, or I would maybe look at that exact bet, winning margin there for the Knicks. And I think the Pelicans will keep pace enough so that we probably get it over 206, maybe over 210, if you do just want to bet that over straight up.
Yeah, I mean, I this is a place I might look for a Knicks money line bet of some kind as well. I do like them to win as well, and they've been a little bit better as of late. They're still slightly inconsistent, in my opinion. I mean, they did cover that 3-point spread that closed against Minnesota at home. When they lost by 2, couple blunders, in my opinion, actually down the stretch by Minnesota more than anything. But either way, I think in this one, I'm more focused on why the Pellies will lose than I am on why the Knicks will win. And that's mostly just because of what they do on the road. I mean, this is a horrible road team. I believe you mentioned 6-17 straight up on the road this season, 7-16 against the spread. And when they're road dogs, they are 5-14 to the over as well. So a lot of points going on when they are road dogs, excuse me, not a lot of points going on when they are road dogs, but still, plenty of losses for them as well. The only things that they really do well on the road, they rebound the ball pretty well, which they do wherever they are really, and they score a bit more with fast break points off turnovers, things of that nature, versus the Knicks, who limit both of those things super well. So don't love that as an advantage for New Orleans like they normally would have. So in terms of why they're so bad on the road are the Pellies. They allow a ton of 3-pointers to be made. They their defensive rating ranks 23rd when they're on the road as such. I think what the Knicks do well as of late, you mentioned they're shooting a lot of threes, and that 3-point defense for New Orleans is pretty nice. I know that they've gone over a bit as of late, and it's a bit conflicting for me because I feel like for both these teams, I like the over, but I do like some of the player props available in there just because some of the individual numbers for some of the guys on these teams have been pretty nice lately. I'm kind of looking for a Julius Randle turnaround, and I think because of the fact that I am banking on him having a good game tonight, he plays really well against bad teams, and like I said, because I think he's primed to have a good game tonight. There's a pretty stark contrast between their wins and losses in terms of what Julius Randle's performance is. You look at his numbers in wins, and he's got about 4 more points per game, a couple more rebounds per game as well. And I am expecting that from him tonight. He, like I said, also playing against bad teams, especially for him as of late. He scored 21 points or more in 6 of the last 7 Knicks home games when they play a team with a losing record. His points prop tonight is at about 19.5. I do like him to get 20. And then for the other side of the ball, a guy we'll probably talk about in player props is Brandon Ingram because he's been incredibly hot. I mean, you could go all the way back to about 20 games since he started coming back in the lineup regularly. He's the difference in their offense, averaging about 23 points, 6 boards, 6 assists a game in those 20 games since coming back. So, like I said, I'm feeling pretty good about those 2 stars to come out and play pretty well tonight. And then as far as the rest of the team for both of these guys, I'm a lot less confident just because of the fact that it seems like for these teams, they can't get 2 or 3 guys hot at the same exact time, which has been the problem. Definitely for the Knicks in terms of Julius getting his, Kemba as well. Never doesn't seem to be too often enough at the same time. Similarly with Alec Burks and Fournier. So I think being hesitant about the Knicks to even cover 4 tonight is probably a pretty good idea. I think it'll stay close, but that's why I would even consider a Knicks money line bet. You can get it at -175 right now if you like that. If you wanted to throw Julius in there with that, that's probably where I would go if you were going to hit that money line like I'd like to for the Knicks. Get it with a player performance double, like something from Julius where he gets 20 in a win, and now you're talking about +210. And like I said, when he's playing bad teams, he's beating up on them. And so I think 21 plus, like I said, 6 of his last 7 against losing teams at home, and that's such as the case tonight. So money line bet, Julius 20 points on a money line bet for the Knicks. Those are the 2 places I'm leaning right now.
Yeah, I think you're right with the Pelicans' road struggled there. I mean, they've lost 5 straight on the road. Their offense has completely evaporated, especially from the 3-point line in those 5 losses. And if the Knicks are going to pack the paint and make you beat them for 3, they probably won't have Devontae Graham either tonight. Yeah. I do doubt their crunch time offense here in terms of being able to pull this game out. So, I mean, but I don't think the Knicks are winning by double digits. No. Again, that's why I would go with the win margin situation there, or maybe look at just teasing it, getting rid of that spread by teasing the Knicks down. And if you wanted to go in this game, I think, with the Knicks winning, you probably would actually want to tease it up and take an under because they win that kind of low scoring game. The Pels really struggled to score after owning a first half lead against the Celtics on Monday afternoon. They just completely ran out of gas on offense. It's just not the greatest lineup. If you can't get Valanciunas going in the post, they don't really have many other places to turn. They are averaging a ton of free throw attempts, the most in the league over the last 11 games, but the Knicks don't really give up a ton of free throws, especially at home. And the Pels defense has been far worse in that span, giving up 111 points per game and a league high 40% from three. Again, the key stat is that the Knicks score the second highest percentage of points off three among Eastern Conference teams. RJ Barrett and company are feeling themselves from the perimeter. So that's why I'm going to look at Evan Fournier for props as their sniper, and expect the Knicks to pull this one out. If you need to buy a couple points here or there, feel free. But yeah, the Pelicans have shown a disposition to kind of fold on the road down the stretch.
Yeah. And the Knicks in their wins, you mentioned why, you consider the under if you do like the Knicks. In their wins, they're averaging 207.5 points a game. And they actually are winning those games by an average of about 8 points as well. But I still, like you said, I don't know if this is a double-digit margin. I would see this as a Knicks blowout before I would see, the Pellies winning this one necessarily, or a Pellies blowout for sure. Not something I would predict. So you still feel good about the Knicks winning. Not totally scared about the 4 points, but yeah, if you want to tease that, get that under up a bit, as you mentioned, maybe get it to about 214. I love that under. And then the Knicks to just basically win a pick 'em. Feel good about that as well. Still get pretty close to even money in your return there. So that is all the time we have for you in this one. Make sure you are liked and subscribed to that page. You can check out those other couple videos we have for you today, including that player props video where we will look to stay hot after another 4-0 night on that big Wednesday night slate. So until we see you next, happy betting.